Hey there, Wargamers. This is Justin from Amp Services, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, kind of like the last Tutorial Tuesday video video technically, that I put up. Twitch gives me the option to throw up a video that's not live, and you guys can respond and check it out. I'm going to be doing that again today because I am currently on the tail end of my vacation. While I'm filming this, I'm not, but I am wording it from the perspective that I am currently not in North Carolina right now, which is where I live. And I wanted to continue on with my live stream schedule, even though I can't technically be live, and I figured this would be something small that I could do to interact with you guys and still get content out there. So with that prefacing this video, I'd like to encourage you guys to share it on social media, share with your friends, help me grow this channel. And your support and the fact that you guys follow me is very much appreciated. During my live streams, I usually don't plug myself too often because you're interacting with me in chat and I'm talking to you anyway. So I figure if you want to hang out and or follow, you will. But because I can't actually respond during this thing that you're watching right now, I figured that I would open up by asking you guys to encourage your buddies to come out and see what it is I'm doing. So today we're going to be doing a conversion like the last video. I've been doing the Primaris Marines because they're affordable and it's an easy way for me to get my Twitch channel jump started with some video content. In the future I would like to do more painting stuff with some higher end pieces that you guys would like to see and or probably win. But you gotta start somewhere, and this is a very cost efficient way for me to crank some stuff out. So with that being said, we're doing the models from the $40 two-player mini starter that comes with 3 Reavers, 3 Primaris, the 3 Death Guard Marines, and I think it's 6 Poxwalkers. It's very affordable. You can get these Marines in a 3-pack for about 15 bucks. Just that two-player starter is much more efficient if you can split it with a buddy, because for $20 a piece, you get for the Chaos 9 models, for the Imperium 6 models, versus paying $30 individually if you just buy these little 3-man boxes. So that is why I've done what I've done. So for this one, this is the sculpt that I used when I painted the Blood Angel for my second live stream painting. And I'm going to be using it on a conversion today, light conversion, for a Space Wolf. Now, last week's non-live, sort of live video thing was a Count as Black Templar, probably using him as a Primaris captain of some sort, or lieutenant, whatever it is. This is going to be the same thing, but for Space Wolves. I'm not even sure if they're allowed to use Primaris Marines, but at some point, if they can't already, I'm sure they'll be able to. So, we know which model we are using from that box. I'll kind of set the bits over here to the side. Using paper towel because it's going to at least definitely make the gray plastic show better. We're using some Space Wolf bits that were in my bits container. These, I think, are from the, well, I know it's one of the Space Wolf kits. I forget what it's called, but they're not hard to find. It's like the Space Wolves version of the tactical box, I believe, has these. So we're going to try something interesting with this Thunder Hammer. See if we can actually get it popped off effectively enough to mount on an arm. We're going to be using the little Storm Shield or Combat Shield for them. We're going to see if we can get this mounted on his waist, because that'll actually add a little spice to him. We've got the Space Wolf banner, which will be cool. In the event the other Thunder Hammer does not work out, we've got this one from the Vanguard Veterans box as a backup just in case. We'll be able to paint the insides of this like a blue with, or a light blue with a blue wash and make it look kind of a frosty effect, if we can achieve that. And I've picked up 2 Space Wolf heads here. I'm not sure which one's going to look better, so I went ahead and grabbed 2. So that I could see. This one looks more like He-Man. That's what it looks like to me. This one looks more Space Wolfy to me. It's just going to depend on which one's going to look better when the model is towards that step of the process, or which one fits better. So I got 2 just in case, for the same reason that I got 2 Thunder Hammers. Now, if you decide that you want to build this, you probably can at an affordable rate. If you don't have the bits and want to make it, you've probably got friends who do. If you've got a local gaming shop, let's find someone who's a Space Wolf player and see if they don't mind hooking you up with some bits. Alright, so first thing we're going to do here is we're going to start cleaning some models. So let's look at this Storm Shield. You can see there's little bits of sprue here. We're going to do, I'll use the term shaving for getting the sprue off and scraping for cleaning mold lines. Those are almost interchangeable, but we're going to use them in that facet today so that you guys know exactly what I mean. Now I'm going to preface this before I start by saying, be careful. I will cut towards myself, away from myself. I'll do a variety. I'm comfortable using X-Acto blade. However, I have to cut the crap out of myself more times than I can count. I have sealed wounds with super glue and band-aids and things that probably should add stitches. If you hurt yourself and it's that bad, go to a doctor. Don't be a hero, but be safe. If you're not comfortable, find a comfortable way to do it. Additionally, please, hobby smart, hobby affordably. Don't go out and spend gold for bronze level stuff. So this is an X-Acto blade. It gets the job done. You can pick it up at a local hobby store or like a Hobby Lobby or Michael's affordably. Use coupons. Go to Hobby Lobby, use a 40% off coupon, or support your local game store. It's fine. Please don't go to GW and buy these blades. I love their models. I love their paints. There's no reason to spend what they want on their tools. Their X-Acto blades or cutters, their snips, all that stuff, it's way overpriced. Sorry, GW managers that may watch this ever, which you probably won't, but if you do, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Your models are very expensive and worth the price, I think. Your tools, I think, are overcost, and for new hobbyists, I think that's ridiculous. So, if you're going to try and do any of these conversion things, get tools that are quality, but not going to break the bank. This will get the job done. Same thing for the hand drill and pin vise, or / pin vise, however you want to view the name that you'll see shortly. So we're going to go ahead and get off my soapbox about making smart purchases and go. Real quick though, stepping right back on the soapbox for a brief moment. One of the reasons I say this is two reasons. One, when I talk about the pricing of the tools, I think the entry level to wargaming, whether it be Warhammer 40k, War Machine, tabletop painting wargaming, that is, Malifaux, Infinity, stuff like that, the models are already a premium. When you buy the models and then you go, man, I need this paint and this paint and this paint, and each paint's, $4 a piece, $3-4, whatever. Then you need blades, then you need glue, then you need basic materials. All these things add up. If you save money on the tools, you can get good tools, but in this case, GW offers basically a repackaged version of all these and they charge way more. That's not a quality difference. That's just a crazy branding difference. So you can shop smart and make good quality purchases and save money, and that is a twofold benefit, because A, you save money obviously, but B, if you're new to the hobby or even a veteran and you save money on your tools and your paints and so forth, that's more money for you to eat with, buy your sodas with, go on dates with, or as a lot of us like to do, buy more models. So that is why I say that. I also think it's just a good business practice to provide good quality products, not just overpriced stuff. Now I say that, but I think the GW models are fine. They're a little bit pricey, but I realize I'm paying for quality, and that's fine. And the brand, that is okay. But the tools are not. I don't mind paying the prices they ask for their paints, because they're worth it, and they're comparably priced. This at Hobby Lobby or another store is probably going to run you $7 to $10 or something. The GW one is way more than that for any of their tools. But when you look at Vallejo versus Citadel paints, it's, like $1 difference. It's really not that big of a deal. In that case, it's personal preference, not just the brand cost. And that is all the difference. So, while I've been on my soapbox that I said I would get off of and then quickly step back up on, I've been shaving and scraping the mold lines off the banner and his storm shield, or combat shield, whatever that is for Space Wolves. I grabbed it because it looked cool. If I was using this as a Space Wolf, I'd probably use it as a count as storm shield, but it is what it is. Just getting all that sprue off that we can find. Trying to shave off the mold lines, being gentle. You don't want to dig into the model, you want to lightly scrape these off. At some point you'll probably mess up, I do all the time. If you do, take the Bob Ross approach and view it as a happy little accident, not a mistake. If you mess it up in your eyes, just look at it as a challenge to blend it into the model in some other way. If you mess it up in your eyes and it's bad, try and think of it as a place where the Space Wolf in this case has taken battle damage. Maybe he got hit by a bolt gun round or sword, or a demon or Tyranid tried to dig into his armor or his banner or whatever with their talons. and paint the area where you had your happy little accident, and paint it to reflect that. And then your happy little accident, it looks now like it was intentional, and you've taken lemons and made your imperial lemonade, so to speak. Or in this case, maybe Astra Militarum lemonade. If they even drink lemonade, I don't know. Space Wolves probably just drink a bunch of beer and can't get drunk because they're genetically altered humans slash wolves slash demonic heretics. Oh no! Space Wolves aren't heretics, they hunted the heretics. The lapdogs of the Emperor. I guess that's what Korn would probably call them, or anybody from Chaos, but they're not my favorite. I think that's just because I don't like some of the stuff. Like, I think this head's really cool, but some of the stuff's just too much, you know, Viking stuff. I like subtlety, which this guy's going to be subtle. However, this guy is going to be subtle because with these easy fit snap together models, you're very limited on what you can do. If this was an actual Primaris model from a kit where I have more control over the posability and the bits, I would probably put Space Wolf shoulder pads on them, because then I could actually enhance the look. But with the way it is now, not going to be able to. Now for this one, you're obviously doing a little bit of shaving, get that chunk of sprue off, and then scraping to get the mold line off the top of this Thunderhammer. And we'll get the bottom side here. We're not worried about the arm part, because the rest of the arm at the elbow, or excuse me, from the wrist up, is gonna be removed. So it's not a big deal. This is gonna be some surgicalness right here. Gonna be tough, but we're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna try. Alright, now I could tell you one of the things I'm gonna do on this piece for the his belt. We're gonna have to do some surgery because it's not gonna line up properly. When I pulled the bits out, I did do some preliminary, not assembly, but positioning and posing. There we go, posing. And like I've already snipped off a little piece here. But this doesn't line up quite perfectly because the leg juts out a smidge. So we're gonna come in here and actually, I'm gonna shave off the back a little bit and create a little bit of a curve, because I want that leg to sit up in here. This is something that, you know, you're losing a little bit of detail, but because it's on the back side, you're unlikely to see all this anyway. So we're just gonna smooth that out, create a little bit of a divot or a concaveness, I believe, so that we can try and line that up. Let's see real quick if I got enough while I'm at it. And nope, got to get more down there towards the knee. Behind here. Alright, let's see if that was enough. Was that enough? Was that enough? Not quite. We might actually come in and shave a corner of the knee down. See if that'll line up better. We'll see. Let's keep at it. This is all part of the conversion process because you're taking bits that weren't designed to fit certain models and trying to make them fit. So it's the nature of the beast. The nature of the beast. I think that's still pretty daggum close. That is pretty close in there. I don't want that tilted, we want it kind of flush. Yeah, we'll shave down the corner here a little bit, see if we can make it fit flush when we get to it. So the back portion here, we're gonna do a little bit of shaving to get that sprue off and then scraping to blend it out. So there's a little spot here, so shave it, scrape it. Remember, we're not trying to dig in, so just a light pressure. Once you get your groove, this will all come to you. So shave it, scrape it. All right, these arms over here, shoulder pads. There's a little dip here, so we're gonna come up real close and then rock it. Now we're gonna do a light shave, very light shave with the curvature. And then scrape, very light scrape. We don't want to flatten out the shoulder pads here. I'm kind of going across the whole thing to make sure it's scraped evenly. And it might be about as good as we're gonna get. And as I said in the previous one, you can do this with files and things like that too. I'm just comfortable with an X-Acto blade. I've been doing it for years, so use what feels right to you. And if you have a different method, feel free to share. It's cool with me. And up here, we're not worried about the hand or the little cell phone he's holding. But by the Emperor, I have to be able to call for help. I have the Raz and they can hear me on Malachor. Or whatever. That might have been a Star Wars planet. But because we're going to be lobbing that off, it's not necessary to clean it. Same thing on this shoulder pad like we just did. A little bit of shave, a little bit of scrape. Be gentle. You don't want to flatten this shoulder pad out. You don't want a flat spot. You want to blend it. Blend it, blend it, blend it. A blend, blend, blenderoo. And get this looking slick. Come down here. Get the elbow. You notice I was real tempted right there. I cleaned the bottom of the handle there. And I stopped because my brain was going to be like, clean the rest of the weapon. But we aren't going to need it here shortly, so unnecessary. Alright. Now let's clean him. So he's got this big chunk of sprue here. Do a little bit of shave, 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 shave. And scrape, 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 scrape. Kind of blend it in. You'll notice I scrape a little bit of areas that don't need it, that are next to it, to kind of try and keep the same finish, the same thickness of the armor plates or whatever. You know, if you shave one spot, it kind of starts to flatten out that one spot. If you shave a little bit of everything, it helps blend it. You'll hear me blow across the model quite a bit as well. Just getting the flash off of them. I'm going to rotate him here. I'm going to get the inside of his legs. And these are steps that if you were doing just straight tabletop, you might skip, especially if you're new. However, it's a good practice to get into because every little technique you learn that improves your assembly and your painting, you know, from priming to assembly to edge highlights to oil washes and applying decals properly, all those little things, objects we're sliding, all those little things are going to start to come together, and each extra step you do and incorporate well and attempt to perfect or master is going to add another layer of awesomeness to your model. And you'll notice as you go, each little thing you learn to do, each new model you paint using all your previous talents and techniques that you've learned in conjunction with the new one that you've learned are going to show. And as you go, your new models are going to look better than old ones. I do it all the time. I have old models, I'm like, these look great, but I'm better now. And that comes in with a little bit of OCD too, so prep yourself. If you're like me, which hopefully if you're watching this video, it's because you like converting and painting, not just playing stompy. But if you're like me, you get better with painting and your armies are never done. You're in a constant state of, let me redo this, redo that, and update this and update that. And it starts to, your army is alive and it's never finished. It's a dynamic thing. It's never becomes stagnant. But that brings its own set of stresses with it because your army's never done. As soon as you finish something, you're on to something else, and then as soon as you're done with that, you're back to something you've already done because you're replacing it with new models because you've improved. Now, if you like the hobby but you are less OCD and you're fine keeping whatever you've painted in the past and, you know, having various qualities amongst your army, which I also have some of those things present, you'll be gaming more than painting. That is for sure, most likely anyway. So we're just shaving here and scraping, getting the mold lines off, trying to follow the curvature like we did with the space or the Black Templar previously. And we just want to make sure we get all these mold lines and sprue chunks off. We want our model to look clean. Well, he's a Space Wolf, so as clean as a dog can get. Hardy har har. Gotta give you guys some crap. I play Ultramarine, so I get Girly Man, Rowboat Girly Man, and Space Marine Poster Child all the time. So anytime I get to throw some Team Edward, Team Jacob, you know, Vampire, Space Wolf jokes, great. And I caught a little bit of heretical jokes during my Dark Angel live stream where one of the guys was like, "How come you're painting a Kairos heretic? Hardy har." And that's Joe, that's for you, buddy. Gamer Dad NC, shoutouts. Yeah, he was trolling me a little bit, but it was a good kind of troll. It was just funny because it's Dark Angels, and some Dark Angels players get tilted and angry about it, but I've learned that it's kind of like a team or a military thing. It's a little bit of bravado and a little bit of just playful banter. I mean, I wasn't in the military, but I've got plenty of friends who were, and you'll hear them joke around, you know, like my stepbrother's in the Coast Guard, and I was telling somebody about it who was in the Air Force, and oh no, it wasn't even somebody, excuse me. I was talking to my stepbrother about it, and like I said, he's in the Coast Guard, and he was talking about my father, who's retired Air Force, and I guess my dad was giving him crap and basically said that, you know, he said Dylan, my stepbrother, was a part of the Puddle Patrol or something like that, Puddle Patrol. And then he told my dad, he's like, "That's okay, at least I wasn't in the Chair Force," you know. So it's kind of like that with Warhammer 40k, and not trying to disparage you vets out there. It's just, to me, it seems the same concept from a fluff perspective. Some of it's rivalry and bravado, and some of it's just playful banter. I mean, you know, that was the, you know, Coast Guard joking with the Air Force guy. It's kind of like a Space Wolf joking with a Blood Angel. Now, in the fluff, they may be more aggressive about it, but as a player, I feel like most players who joke about the Ultramarines probably just do it from a fun perspective, just like when someone talks about Space Wolves being space puppies or whatever. It's a little bit of that. So anyway, we're going to shave off just a little bit of this knee here. It's not ideal, but that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try and get this top right corner of the model. And we're going to try and blend it down just a little bit. This is going to look bad, but it's going to be covered, and this is why I'm doing it. I'm trying to make it to where his little waist wolf pelt thing is going to line up a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah, I think that might be good. We can mount it this way, glue it down, and see what we can do. We'll just mount it where part of it's glued to the knee and not just the waist, so that this lines up proper and looks good. I think that'll be fine. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get some assembly going on. Let's go ahead and put a little dibble of some glue in here. We're not putting it in the peg joints, we're putting it in around the border. I do this because if you put it in the peg joints and you don't push the pieces together quickly, they have a tendency to start to cure very fast, and then you can't mash the model together quick, and it can be a pain. So we've got that. Now we're going to grab just a little bit of tape. This is me personally. Please be careful, don't stab yourself, but I usually just torque it or give some tension, and then like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't matter. Tear it the rest of the way. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to mount this guy on his base. Because these are snap togethers, he slides right in there. Then I use the glue or the tape, go between his legs at his ankles, and I just tape it down. You don't want to touch any of the actual, well, touching might be okay, but you want to make sure you're not covering any spots that are going to get paint. And I use both halves just to really make sure you're secured. Now, depending on your basing, you may not do this, depending on what you own. If you don't own these snap togethers, but you're still kind of following the process, You may have to actually glue them. You may use cork with pegs. You know, whatever it is that you're doing may be slightly different than what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and put a little dibble of glue right here on his knee. A little bit right up in here, across his waist. Let's go ahead and mount this Space Wolf little belt thing here. Nope, gotta be up a little further than that. And don't be too tilted. There we go. We've got a little bit of the plastic that got in the knee here, so we're just gonna shave that off. Well, if we get it, there we go. This is one of the benefits of having an X-Acto blade. If the glue spreads, you just scrape and blend stuff back out. I probably could have skipped trying to do the waist part of this model for the belt buckle thing, but I thought it might make the model look a little better. I think that's probably okay. We got that smooth out. It's not going to look as smooth but on camera, but in real life it looks fine. Alright, so now let's go ahead and lob off this thing. We're going to do this in chunks here, cutting it in multiple pieces so I can more easily get to the wrist. I want to make sure I don't screw this up. So we're going to torque just a little, just give it a little pinch, and we're just kind of scoring a little bit. We want to make sure you get a nice dealio going around it, indentation, so that when you snip it, you don't lose the wrist armor. So we're going to do a little shave and a little scrape. Get that nice and flat, smooth out this spot where it kind of rope it up just a little bit. And now we've got ourselves a handless marine. We have taken away your hand, marine. All right, so this one's gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna snip the gun. Gun's gone, but not the hand. We're gonna snip the top portion of the gun right here up to the shoulder. It didn't come off because it's also mounted to the shoulder. We're gonna come here, get the back side of it. It's off. Now we're gonna get his wrist. We can do a little torque, 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 torque. Turn it, torque, 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 and snip. Alright, so now we're gonna shave and scrape. Shave, shave, shave. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Try and get that flush. Get down here at the bottom of the shoulder pad and just kind of fix that a little bit, because that's where the gun mounted up or touched. And like I said earlier, be really careful. You will see me shaving and I'm getting real close, actually touching my skin, but I'm pulling back or not pushing in really hard there at the end, so I generally am not cutting my skin, though sometimes it does happen. So just be very careful and comfortable with what it is you're doing. So here, this bit's going to be difficult, but we're going to try and we're going to see if it works. We're going to snip right here behind the elbow where the pipe is. Get that loose. Now we're going to come in and we're going to come behind the wrist, snip the hand. There we go. It's off. This is going to require some shaving because we want to get down to the actual wrist and get off this tube, or where the tube connects. So we're going to have to do a lot of scraping and shaving here for a second. So give me a moment. See what we can do. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Okay. Come on. Scrape. So we're just kind of digging it out. This is going to take just a second here. Ooh, we don't want to lose the tubing, so be careful. Don't push too hard like I just about did. I'll blend that. Come on the other side. Make sure we shave that off. What we're trying to do is get it nice and clean in there. Now let's see how this might look on this hand. Okay, let's cut off an extra link of this tube. let's cut one more link off. My idea is I can connect this tube to his elbow and try and make it look like it's supposed to be there. So, oops, lost this thing. So let's shave this down just a little bit more. Let's shave that a little bit and see what we can do. Alright, so we got that in there. It looks like I might be able to torque this in. Oh, yeah. We might be able to connect it up under his arm. Let's see. Alright, well, let's go ahead and mount these because it's going to be easier for me to position that arm knowing where this is going to sit. Is this going to pop in there for me? That should be good. Now let's see how this is going to look. If I go up under the arm, I don't think I'm going to be able to. I think I might have to just shave the plastic and try and line that up. Yep, because he's going to be sitting like that-ish. So let's snip it down to like there. Whoops. And okay. Sorry guys, I know this is, I'm visually looking at stuff. You may use a different Thunderhammer than I did, but I really like how this is looking, so we're gonna try and make it work. I want a little bit of tubing to kind of go up to his elbow. So let's see if we can line that up. Alright, I'm going to drop a dibble dabble of glue here just to mount the gun or the sword or Thunderhammer. This one I am not doing a pin like the last video because it's going to be glued by two connecting pieces here, the tube and the hand, so it felt should be less necessary. Now we should be able to mash that tube in there, blend it out. So let's put a little dibble of glue on the bottom of this tube, just a drip. Okay, wipe some off. I'm gonna mash it in there with the back of the blade where it's not sharp. Okay, and kind of just shave off this tube, this pipe, this last link, and kind of just blend it just a little bit. Trying to make it look kind of like it's connecting at his elbow. Okay, let's rotate over here on the inside here, see how it's looking. And that actually looks fine. I'm not even going to play with the inside. That looks great. The little snip worked out well. So now we've got our Thunderhammer on him. Now let's go ahead and mount this. This one should be good. So let's put a little glue in here. We're going to move quick. If we can't quite get this, we'll have to snip this peg. But this one's not quite as snug as the other one. So we're going to grab it and mash it and get it in there quick. Lined up. Looks like we're good. Actually, I want to turn that a little bit upwards, I think. Working quick before that glue cures. Okay. Nice, I like that. Shave this off just a smidge more. I don't think we're even going to have to peg this one either because it's going to be able to glue up on the forearm, so let's shave that down just a smidge here. There's a little bit of a wedge. We're going to create more of a flat on flat touch here, so there's no gap. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Space Wolf's coming to save the day. Alright, so that should line up good, so let's go ahead and drop a little dribble of some glue in there. Grip, 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 grip. And let's line up that hand. Nice, 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 nice. That looks great. I like it. Whoops. I like when it slides too. Nice. Let's tilt it just ever so slightly. There we go. Cool. Now let's see which face is going right. He-Man. The He-Man face. I don't like it. Your hair looks stupid. I'm sorry, buddy. Let's see if Mr. Beardy McBeardy can fit in here properly. I have to shave some of his hair down, but he might actually fit pretty well. Actually, yeah. Actually, that hair might do it. What's up, Wolverine? All right, let's do that. Let's go ahead and mount this. Put a little bit more glue in there than normal because I didn't shave down his peg or his spherical thing here, rounded area, because his hair is going to also be connecting inside this neck thing, and we'll use that as some of the points for the glue to connect to. He said, "I'm a space wolf, yo. I don't need no helmet." Okay. Now, I didn't pay attention to that wolf thing. Let's make sure the backpack lines up. Sure does. Fantastic. Almost like I planned it. I didn't. This is all off the cuff. I have never made this guy before. Alright, so we are going to pin this. So we're going to get our small hand drill. Again, do not buy this from GW. It was stupid expensive. Try and get this as centered as possible. And we're going to just drill straight in. Perfect. Put a little dribble of some glue. Put that peg in there. Try and get it flush and straight. And let it dry. Assuming this does not interfere with that, it's gonna be close. Gonna be close, but I think we'll be good. If not, we'll adjust accordingly. We only need just a little bit, so we're going to cut that down a little. As our paperclip snip flies across the room. That looks secured. So now we're going to try and see where this needs to line up to be centered. That looks pretty good. Now we're just going to like rotate or turn this a little bit, because where that was snipped it had a little bit of a point, so we're just kind of turning. And it creates a little bit of a divot here. Lets us know where to drill. So we're going to drill right down in there. Try and go as straight in as possible. You don't want to angle this and screw up the backpack. Looks pretty good. Let's shave just a little bit. Kind of flatten that surface out just a smidge. Almost like there's supposed to be a banner there. And see if it lines up well. Oh, nice. That looks great. Oh, that's, yeah. Woo, woo. That was good. I don't even play Space Wolves, but that looks good. Oh, man. I don't know if you guys can tell from some of my commission stuff I've done. I really enjoy assembling models. Probably almost as much, if not sometimes slightly more so, than painting them, because the boxes only give you a certain pose. I like doing stuff, and I don't even do hardcore conversions, but I like doing stuff that with bits mix and matching that weren't on the box. So it looks cool. So let's make sure that mounts up with the Storm Thunderhammer. Oh yeah, look at that. That is, man, this is gonna look awesome. Let's go ahead and put a little dribble of glue in there. Let's go ahead and get that backpack mounted. We need to mash it in there. Come on. Alright, well, it's not one to go. So, here is what you do when your backpacks won't go in, or your things won't go in because of pegs. You just snip that peg off. And then you'll have to line it up manually, which is okay. So I always rotate it and tilt and look at the bottom because you can see where it lines up. Whoops. Hang on, sorry. It's got that big hole. You might actually use green stuff, but I didn't anticipate the backpack peg not working, so my green stuff's in another room. That's okay. Just let you guys know that this was live streamed with or not live streamed, but edited with the intent of it hoping to have been a live stream, but wasn't able to be, with minimal editing. So you guys are getting a very raw experience, even though it's not live, which is what I'm going for Twitch right now. Alright, so that is the guy. This guy is Thunderhammer, combat / storm shield, his banner, a little bit of extra bits just to spice him up. He's got his Wolverine face going and it fits, and he looks slick. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I've had fun. Like I said, it wasn't planned. I planned out the bits when I found them. I didn't prep this. I didn't test it before I did. There's not another Space Wolf identical to this laying around. He is 100% unique to what I currently have laying in front of me. And I kind of wanted to do something to convert these. So I'm going to grab the Black Templar from last week. These two are probably going to be meant to be like Primaris captains of some sort, of lieutenants, HQs, rather than actual Primaris Marines who don't get these weapon options. So hopefully you guys will think these are cool. And I encourage you to hit that follow button if you're watching this on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share. Definitely appreciate you guys' support and trying to help me grow the channel, and inviting your friends and so forth. So hopefully you'll tune in a couple of weeks when I actually paint this guy live alongside the Black Templar at some point in their own respective days, and I'll give them away for free to one of the lucky viewers. So anyways, that being said, guys, I'm going to pop off and get to work on some other stuff before I have to start packing for my vacation. Which I guess when you're watching this, I'm technically already gone. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you have a good day, and I'll catch you next time.